The Toyota Camry and Honda Accord have long been topping the sales charts in the midsize sedan class, but one vehicle that really is starting to come up to them is the Ford Fusion. When the third generation was introduced in 2013, it really raised the bar in the midsize sedan class, but with very few changes since then, is this vehicle still competitive? Well, let's go ahead and find out and check out this 2016 Ford Fusion. Now, as far as styling goes on the vehicle, this has always been one of the most sharpest and handsome looking vehicles in the class. And on the front end you do have the Aston Martin look-alike grille. And overall I'm a pretty big fan of the styling, and it still looks pretty good today. However, we are lacking LED daytime running lights and LED headlights, which a lot of competitors do now offer. However, HID headlights are an option. Now here goes the key fob for the vehicle. Fairly stylish and high quality looking key fob here. Love it. And then you have your lock, unlock, your remote engine start, to release your trunk, and then your panic button. Fairly easy to do the remote engine start. Just click on this button 2 times. Now, our Fusion we have here is also the titanium model, and it comes with many luxury and technology goodies, but ours is not the all-wheel drive model, it is front-wheel drive. Now, it is the white platinum metallic tri-coat exterior color. We also do have smart key access on all 4 doors, which most vehicles in this class don't have all 4 doors for their smart key access. They just have the driver's door and the front passenger door. We also do have a beige leather interior. Of course, you have your power driver's seat with your power recline and power lumbar too. Now, stepping inside, as you can see, it's a pretty stylish cabin design overall, very high quality looking too, and very luxurious. But we do have the fully loaded titanium model, so that's to be kind of expected. Now, you do have push button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. And what you're hearing there is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, full leather wrapped steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, you have a 6-speed automatic. You also do have a sport mode, and you could shift the vehicle manually via the paddle shifters. Putting the vehicle into reverse displays your rear view camera with guidance lines. You also do have trajectory, rear parking sensors, and you also do have the active park assist, so the vehicle will parallel park by itself, which is a pretty amazing feature. And most vehicles in this class do not offer that. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights, fog lights, and the hazards too. Automatic driver's side window in the Fusion. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up the hood, check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. You also do have blind spot detection. Halogen projector beam headlights with halogen daytime running lights and halogen fog lights. You also do have front parking sensors as well. Very sharp and bold looking front end. Now, under the hood here, we have the optional 2-liter inline turbo 4-cylinder, producing 231 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 270 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPM, with EPA estimates being 22 in the city and 33 on the highway, running on regular unleaded fuel for this front-wheel drive model. Now, your optional powertrains do include a 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder. And then your base powertrain is a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder. And these are the gas engines only. There are the hybrid powertrains optional as well. Now, I would certainly skip the base 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder and go straight with this 2 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, because this engine does provide pretty good acceleration, yet is very fuel efficient too. Same with the 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder. That engine is also very strong and is decently fuel efficient as well. Now, pricing for the Fusion for the base S trim level starts at $22,600. Then you have the SE trim level, which starts at $24,135. The fully loaded titanium, how we have here, starts at $30,880, and then there's many packages you could choose from as well. Now, as far as competitors go of the Fusion, you have the vehicles in the mid-size sedan category. This includes the likes of the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry, of course, Subaru Legacy, Mazda 6, Nissan Altima, Chevrolet Malibu, Volkswagen Passat, and the Chrysler 200. MSRP for this particular one is $37,025. Coming to the rear, you have LED taillights with LED turn signal indicators and dual exhaust tips, and rear parking sensors as well. I love how these doors close also. They're very solid feeling with a nice thunk. A lot of vehicles in this class don't do that, however. Of course, you have all of your basic power amenities, power windows, power mirrors, and power door locks, as well as memory seat settings for 3 people. Nice soft touch armrest with nice stitching, and stitching on the mid door panel too. Very high quality. And let's go ahead and rev it up. Very nice. I really do love the way that turbo 4-cylinder sounds. Now, as far as build quality and materials go inside of here, it's certainly in top of the class in terms of that. You have nice soft touch materials pretty much everywhere. Right here, you have this nice soft padded material that runs all the way back here. Pretty nice there. And then on the dashboard too, nice soft padded material. As well as on the upper door panel, mid door panel, nice stitching, and on the armrest, of course, too. Not many places where they cheapened out on. And when Ford introduced this Fusion generation, this 3rd generation, back in 2013, that's when they really stepped up build quality and materials inside of the Fusion. Build quality is also pretty excellent too. You won't find many panel gaps inside of here. However, some trim pieces do creak every now and then. Now, coming to the steering wheel design, this is certainly probably one of my most favorite steering wheels in the class. I love how there's a lot of buttons. And then it's fairly stylish too, and I love how the steering wheel rim isn't really thick. It's actually just the right size, to be honest. This is actually the perfect steering wheel rim. I love how the size of it isn't too thick and isn't too thin either. Now, coming over to these buttons right here, this controls that little screen right there, which I'll get to a little later in the video. This set of buttons right here controls that, which I'll get to also a little later. You have your voice recognition, steering wheel mounted audio controls, Bluetooth phone controls, of course. Some nice options on the Fusion do include adaptive cruise control, and you have your cruise control buttons right there. All the way down here, here's where you will find your manually tilting and telescoping steering wheel. There is a decent range of adjustment, especially on the telescoping. However, on the tilting, I wish there was just a little bit more. Coming up here, you have your auto-dimming rearview mirror, interior illumination lighting, and then your sunroof controls, of course. Sunglass container, and your garage home link. Headliner is also very high quality too. Coming down here, you will find a little bit of storage, which is a pretty neat little place to have it, very unique. And you have a 12-volt power outlet down there. Electronic parking brake, and then like I said, you have your park assist right there. And then cup holders. Coming down here into your center console, you have two USB ports, a 12-volt power outlet, and an SD card slot. Then your video jacks. Decent amount of center console storage, I have to say. And then you have this little tray right here too. Now coming to your climate controls, Ford does use touch sensitive buttons here, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you do have dual zone automatic climate control. It's a little finicky to use at times, and it's not really calibrated that well either. But you have your temperatures right here and then your fan speeds. It's not the most easy to use system on a day-to-day basis. And then you have your rear window defroster right here, and sometimes you really have to keep touching it to make it work. Now coming right here, we have your My Ford Touch system, and it's not the most easy to use system in the entire world. It's not the most user-friendly, but basically it's separated into four main corners. Over here you have your entertainment, which includes all of your audio, and then you have your phone right here, and then your navigation and your climate. But coming to your different audio sources, we have all of your basic stuff: AM, FM, Sirius satellite radio, your CD player, which is your optical disc drive, which you will find down here. Then you have your USB port, Bluetooth streaming audio on this bad boy as well, your SD card slot, and then your auxiliary jack. Then you have your presets right here too. And then coming up here, you will also find always all the time is your digital clock and then your exterior temperature readout. Now if you click on this little house button right there, that brings you to basically all the four main screens. And then you have your phone right here.
Search for sync on your device and select.
You can hook up your Bluetooth phone and stuff, and then have an integrated dial pad and store all your contacts on there, of course. Coming back to the home button, you also do have your navigation system, but you have to insert an SD card slot. Coming to your climate, basically if you don't want to control your climate from these finicky buttons down here, you could control it from the touchscreen. You also do have heated seats in this vehicle too, as well as cooled seats, a heated steering wheel, and then here's your different zones for your climate control. But you won't find the different zones down here on these buttons. You will also only find it on the touchscreen, which is pretty interesting. I don't know why they did that. And then you have your temperatures too. Coming back to the home button, and then coming on this little I button, which is for your vehicle information. You have your alerts, Sirius Travel Link, gives you your traffic services. Then you also do have a calendar on here, which is pretty nice. Various apps that you can access. You also do have 911 assist, and then you can get a vehicle health report too, which is also pretty nice. And then coming to the settings button right there, basically you could change many different vehicle settings, sound settings for your bass, mid-range, and your treble, display settings for the My Ford Touch interface, then your clock if you want to change the time. Now overall responsiveness of the My Ford Touch system is okay. However, it's just not the most user-friendly system in the business, and certainly if you're coming into the vehicle for the first time, if you're a passenger, you won't certainly get this My Ford Touch system straight off the bat. It's pretty hard to use at times. Now as far as visibility goes in the Fusion, it's okay. You have a decent amount of side glass area. Outward visibility is also pretty good too. I love this little quarter window right here. And then rearward visibility is okay. It's not the best though in the class. If you're looking for the best visibility in the class, certainly go with the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, or Volkswagen Passat. The Fusion has slightly sleek styling. Now, as far as driving dynamics go of the Fusion, this is certainly one of the best handling vehicles in the class, and it also has a decent ride quality too. Now, the handling, it feels very responsive, and you really can feel for where this vehicle is trying to go. It's very sporty feeling behind the wheel, and pretty athletic too. Handles the corners pretty well, and it's very sharp in its handling. As far as the ride quality goes, the ride is also pretty comfortable overall, and it soaks up road bumps also pretty well too. Now, certainly if I was to get this vehicle with the black leather interior, I would feel as if this interior would be very Spartan feeling and wouldn't have a whole lot of contrast, but these beige leather seats do add much more contrast inside of this interior. Loving the two-tone interior here. Now, coming to these gauges here and the whole instrument cluster, it's your typical Ford instrument cluster, nothing out of the ordinary here. Basically in the center right there you have your speedometer and then what gear you're in. Coming over there, that's basically where you can show all of the vehicle information. Shows you, of course, your fuel level, and then your display mode. You can have your RPM gauge or your distance till empty. And then you have your trip odometer at the bottom right there. And then you could select between trip information, trip 1 or 2. You have your fuel economy data, gives you your average fuel economy. Your driver assistance settings. We also do have lane keeping assist on this vehicle, as well as rear cross traffic alert. Then other settings like your Ford My Key, then your auto engine off, many different settings. And then coming to that little screen right there, that basically shows you what audio source you're on and then what radio station you have on to. And then you could change your different audio sources from here as well, which is pretty neat. Then you have your exterior temperature readout down there, your direction of travel, and your digital clock as well. And then you could select between your audio, navigation, your phone, and your climate. This is pretty interesting that you could change the temperature from this little screen right here. And also, these two screens are controlled by this dial pad and this little dial pad too. Alright, and let's go ahead and shut down the Fusion. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle. Of course, build quality and materials do pretty much follow through in the rear back here. Still nice soft touch materials on the armrest with nice stitching, soft touch on mid door panel and upper door panel too. Now, the Fusion certainly isn't the most spacious feeling vehicle in the class, especially in the rear. But legroom isn't half bad. It's just it doesn't have the most legroom in the class. If you're looking for the most spacious vehicles in the class, certainly go with the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, or the Volkswagen Passat. Now, I love how the seat backs are also wrapped in leather too, and are not a hard seat back with a hard plastic. But you do have dual map pockets back here, rear air vents, 12 volt power outlet, and 110 volt power outlet. And then cup holders with the rear center armrest. Now, a lot of vehicles in this class don't offer rear power outlets, but the Fusion does, especially a 110 volt one. Headroom is okay, but it's certainly not the best. But two average sized adults certainly can fit back here. However, 3 might be pushing it. Alright. Of course, what's the point of having a practical midsize sedan if the rear seats don't fold down? Thankfully, the Fusion's rear seats do fold down 60-40 split. Trunk space is okay. However, if you do get the hybrid version of the Fusion, trunk space does become a little bit more limited. To fold the rear seats down, it's also pretty easy to do. Just go like that. And same with the other side. And I also forgot to mention that these rear seat headrests are adjustable. Powered passenger seat with power recline and power lumbar. Actually pretty surprised it has power lumbar. Most vehicles in this class do not offer power lumbar for the front passenger seat. And here's your glove box. It's also lined with felt and nice and damp. Very high quality here. Also, most vehicles in this class don't have a glove box that's lined with felt. So with its very capable handling, many technology features, as well as eye-catching styling and fuel-efficient and strong turbo powertrains, the 2016 Ford Fusion is an excellent choice for a 2016 midsize sedan. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.